Hello and welcome to part 3 of our Whimsy and Fun cue. We are going to mix and master our cue today. I'm going to be using the other parts of the template that have been hidden up till now. So we've got 10 reverbs and stems ready to go. If you want to make a template like this for yourself to save yourself some time, I've got a video on doing exactly that over there and I'll put a link in the description. Don't forget, like and subscribe, always appreciated. Let's crack on with it. So we're going to open up the mixer. The first thing I'm going to do actually is label and rearrange the tracks into groups of instruments from top to bottom and color code them so we can see how we're going to put the stems together. Okay, see you when I've done that. Okay, all color coded and looking pretty. I've also labeled the reverbs and the stems. So we've got piano reverb, marimba reverb. Exactly, that matches with piano stem, marimba stem, and so on. I've got 7 of them. You'll notice that I've put BBC cymbals on their own track and they're going to be on their own stem because often a music library will ask for the transitions on a separate stem. So these cymbals are acting as that transition element. So we need to keep those separate just in case. Next thing to do is go through each of the instruments and EQ them so they sound as I want them. The way I'm going to do that is repeat this section at the end where everything is playing, so I could just go down each one and solo them, play it back and open up the EQ, see if I want to do anything to it. Okay, see you in a sec. And there we go. I've put a couple of EQs on some instruments. Some don't need it. The percussion and orchestral elements tend to need a lighter touch. Next, I need to reroute everything for our template. So instead of going to stereo out, we're going to change the output of each instrument to its correct bus. So it's going to go to the piano stem, but we're also, in preparation for adding reverb, we're going to put a send in to the piano reverb. And that will be our next job. But just for now, I'm going to go through and set all the sends and outputs to the correct channels. Okay, so a quick check to make sure you've generally routed everything correctly is to try playing it back. You'll see the meters are responding, but we're not hearing anything. That's because we are not in input monitoring mode for the stems, as they are audio tracks. So if I do that and then play back, you can see everything is triggering as we would expect. That's a good position for us now to go through and add any reverb. So for each of the tracks, I will be changing the send level. So for the piano, we'll be adjusting this send level, which is going into the piano reverb. I've got a default reverb on each of the channels already. All I need to do is go in and see how much I want of each to put them all in the same space. Okay, see when I've gone through that. And there we go, I've gone through, added various amounts of reverb. I actually started with the piano and worked down in this case because the piano I felt was probably the one instrument that needed to sit in its own space, so then matched everything else to it. I have done a slight bit of rearrangement for the ending. We did have a 3-note phrase, ba ba ba, at the end, but I've changed it to a 2-note phrase, which I think works a little bit better, and I've moved the cymbal transition out of that so it is much more succinct, more tooty ending. I've actually put it, well, technically I sort of moved it back to this first edit point that we've got there. So the ending is now this, which I think is a lot cleaner than we had it at the end of part 2. This is pretty much the last chance we've got to make any changes to any automation and composing that we want to do at this point, because we are now going to create the stems. So we come out of input monitoring, pop it into record mode, back to the beginning. I'm going to hit record and watch the stems appear by magic. And there we have our lovely stems. Remember to keep recording well after the end, because we are going to automate that now in the final step. What I'm going to do is make sure I can see the stereo out track, and I'm going to put a MIDI region where I think the end is roughly going to be. We're going to zoom in on that, and bearing in mind we're listening to the audio tracks now. Okay, I was a bar out. We probably need to go to about there because we don't want to kill any reverb artificially, as that will, well, it will sound artificial and a little bit odd. So we're going to put in an automation curve so it's a bit more natural. Check that sounds okay. Great, so that will work as our ending point now. So when we put the cycle range in for exporting, we're going to start there and go back to just before the beginning. That's all I'm going to do for this track actually, and I will add the Logic Mastering Assistant to see what it thinks. I will play this for you as an outro. It'd be interesting to compare this and see if you can hear the difference between the end of part 2 and this one. But that's it for our Whimsy and Fun cue. I hope you found it interesting. Why not have a go at making one yourself? Like and subscribe, appreciated. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.